Chill pill ways. Have you ever noticed how the way you talk to yourself changes when you're struggling? When you're tired, anxious, or things go wrong, that inner voice doesn't offer kindness. It doesn't say, hey, it's okay, you're doing your best. No, it whispers something crueler. Something like, you're a failure, or you always mess things up. And we believe it. Even when we wouldn't dare say those words to a friend, we let them echo inside our own heads, over and over again. This harsh self-criticism doesn't build us, it breaks us. It's not tough love, it's emotional erosion. A quiet force that chips away at confidence until all that's left is a version of you that doesn't feel worthy of anything good. And when that voice keeps speaking for long enough, you don't just hear it, you start becoming it. The line between your thoughts and your identity begins to blur. You stop thinking, I made a mistake, and start thinking, I am a mistake. But before we go deeper, take a breath. This space is for healing, not judgment. You're here, you're open. Can that already mean something? So subscribe, and discover more chill pill ways with us. We're walking this path together. The truth is, self-criticism isn't always born from cruelty. Sometimes it comes from pain. Maybe you were taught that love had to be earned, that only perfection deserved peace. Maybe criticism was the only form of attention you ever knew. So now you do it to yourself, as if punishing your flaws will make them disappear. But it doesn't. It just hurts. And when we're in pain long enough, depression doesn't knock. It moves in quietly and stays. Self-criticism feeds depression like oxygen to a flame. The more you listen to that inner bully, the harder it becomes to feel joy, to believe in your worth, to reach out for help. It tells you that you're lazy when you're just exhausted. It says you're dramatic when you're drowning. It insists you're unlovable when you're craving connection the most. And worst of all, it convinces you that this is who you really are, not someone struggling, just someone broken. But you're not broken. You're a person who learned to survive by being hard on yourself. And now you can learn something new. Healing doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means learning to recognize that cruel voice and gently say, I hear you, but I no longer believe you. It means speaking to yourself like someone worth saving, because you are. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel lost, even hopeless sometimes. But you deserve a voice inside you that helps you get up again, not one that keeps you on the floor. So here's something to try. Next time you catch yourself saying, I'm such an idiot, pause, breathe, and ask, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then it doesn't belong in your mind either. Talk to yourself like someone who deserves gentleness, because your healing depends on it. I know it's not easy. Rewriting the way we speak to ourselves takes time. But each small intentional moment of kindness adds up. And over time, the voice that once tore you down can become the one that helps you rise. You're not alone in this. Millions of us carry this same invisible weight. But together, we can learn to set it down. Let this be one of those small moments. One where you choose compassion. One where you choose to believe that you are worth the work it takes to feel whole again. And if you needed to hear it today, you're not too much. You're not too far gone. You're still here, and that matters more than you know. You deserve rest. You deserve hope, and you deserve to heal at your own pace. Keep going gently. We'll be right here with you. What if he tries to overcharge me or gets angry? He'll probably yell at me. What if he notices I'm alone and vulnerable and tries to hurt me? By now, the man had created entire scenarios in his head. I'm going to tell you the story of a man whose car broke down in the middle of a deserted road. With no way out, he set off in search of the mechanic to fix it. He thinks, I know the mechanic will refuse to help, but I still need that check, ... Finally, he reaches the shop door and knocks. He hears noises inside. While waiting, he imagines a grumpy, stressed-out mechanic with bulging eyes opening the door. When the door actually opens and a man says, "Can I help you?" our stranded driver shouts, "I don't want your damn jack anyway," slams the door shut, and storms off. Notice how pessimistic thinking made the man act completely differently toward the mechanic, even though his thoughts didn't match the professional's actual attitude. So, what exactly is catastrophizing? It's a common cognitive distortion, a thinking error where the mind turns difficult situations into absolute catastrophes. Instead of seeing a problem as solvable or temporary, the person imagines it will lead to terrible consequences, as if it were the end of the world. For example, you're worried about an important work presentation. That's normal. But when you catastrophize, your mind creates exaggerated connections. If I mess up this presentation, I'll get fired. If I get fired, I'll never find another job. Without a job, I'll lose my home and everything I've worked for. I'll end up alone with no prospects. See how a legitimate concern transforms, step by step, into an extreme, desperate scenario? That's what catastrophizing does. It distorts reality and plunges your mind into a horror movie. Just like in our Jack story, catastrophizing usually starts with genuine setbacks. But the thinking error transforms that reality into the belief that something awful is about to happen. That man started thinking, I'll be cheated, mistreated, and end up worse off. The root of catastrophizing lies in our habitual response to challenges or failures. If you want, pause for a second and ask yourself, how do you think about failure? Catastrophizing means imagining the worst, taking a difficult situation and interpreting it as horrible, terrible, and unrecoverable. When these habits become repeated patterns, they lead to depression or anxiety, and people start believing they'll never recover. Some common examples. Imagine a man with panic disorder. He predicts an attack at the mall with no sign, just from fear. He thinks it would be catastrophic, and therefore avoids going, even without a real reason. Or a depressed woman imagines she'd be depressed forever and never feel happy again. Someone with mild to moderate social rejection sensitivity imagines being completely rejected by all desirable people. So, how does catastrophizing hold us back? We've all been through tragedies, painful rejections, or failures. And we fool ourselves into thinking that, by expecting the worst, we can prevent it. But usually the opposite happens. Think about our man with the jack. Out of fear of rejection, he anticipated tragedy and deprived himself of the solution he needed, focusing on everything that could go wrong. Expecting the worst often invites the worst. Not only do we miss opportunities, but we actually end up attracting the exact problems we try to avoid. If we enter a conversation expecting defensiveness, we often start off harsher or more rigid, which makes the other person defensive. Catastrophizing invites depression. When we imagine a dark, threatening, or hopeless future, our brain responds by releasing less serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals of happiness, pleasure, and motivation. Why be happy or hopeful when the future seems impossibly bleak? This leads to a cycle of withdrawing from life, lack of motivation, and depressive patterns. Catastrophizing also invites anxiety, as it means expecting something bad and creating emotions based on that expectation. Expecting the worst makes us desperate and depressed about the future, leaving us unmotivated. Why try if I'll just fail? This leaves us stuck in self-pity instead of taking control. Catastrophizing closes us off to opportunities and options that could work, leading to a sense of paralysis. The patterns repeat, sometimes with different names, maybe from lack of support or personal failures. Like, subscribe, and discover more chill pill ways with us. Thank you for watching and for taking care of yourself.